more resilient. When there are holes, tears, issues within these layers of our energy field, it can cause a lot of issues physically, mentally, emotionally. That overwhelm that I know a lot of people have been feeling recently and for some time.
A lot of people have been writing in with different challenges physically that are going on in the body, things that haven't resolved, issues they've been working on for a very long time, be them emotional or physical. What have you seen in your practice and in your soul work with clients that is showing up because maybe of an auric field tear or an aura imbalance?
I've seen how much it affects the autonomic nervous system. So there are the modes within the nervous system, that parasympathetic mode where the body it's the body's innate healing response, or the sympathetic mode where I'm shown in that sympathetic mode, it's like being caught in a program. It's like reacting to life. The different modes can be fawning, people pleasing, freezing, flight, fight. And we're not meant to be stuck in those modes. We can access those modes if needed to for survival, but we're not meant to be stuck in those modes. And when we feel safe and secure, when we feel that our aura is protected, is fortified, that these seven layers, these seven fields are functioning optimally, that's when the nervous system gets the signal. Okay, now I can go into parasympathetic mode where I can literally repair myself. So it affects the hormones, it affects the nervous system, and the hormones and nervous system affect everything from brain fog to mental clarity to digestive system issues, anxiety, cortisol issues, chronic fatigue. And this is what I've seen a lot of, especially a overactivity in the vagus nerve bundle around the heart and lungs, where people feel overwhelmed or like they're on guard, or the different physical health issues besides anxiety with different body pains, like pains in the joints, or issues with digestion, issues with detoxification with the liver. It really, this energetic field represents every cell of our physical being, and the impact goes really deep.
Yeah, that's what I really love about your work is because you embody a lot of this true wisdom, as within, so without, that this is all connected, that we're almost like this, divine sacred forest of all these different things working together in ways electromagnetically and energetically and frequency wise that we can't even imagine. When you think about and talk about the aura and having some symptoms of like auric issues or auric tears, what are like four or five of maybe the signs that someone might want to look at this time on planet Earth and say, you know what? I'm taking on too much stuff, or my aura is not actually fully, protected or holding the space that it should. What are some signs, four or five, that you've seen?
One of the top, I would definitely say overwhelm. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that means you're taking on either the collective energy or other people's energy. Repetitive negative thought forms or fear-based thought forms would definitely be the second one. The third one, feeling the third one I would say would mostly be anxiety, but also anxiety with digestive issues where you have trouble digesting your food or kind of like this uneasy stomach experience. And lack of clarity, I would say, would be the fourth one. This can come, we can sometimes have a lack of clarity when there's issues within the nervous system, when there's issues within the hormonal system. But when you kind of sense when you tune into your field that there's energy within your field or it's been compromised in different ways where you don't feel that level of protection. But those in working with hundreds of people with this work with the aura and the nervous system, those are the most common ones that I've seen.
Yeah, that is very interesting, and it tends to make a lot of sense, right? That if we're not fully protected in this kind of cocoon shell, then our bodies actually don't feel protected. Our bodies get into kind of like a heightened state, an overactive state, and then that's where the breakdowns occur. For a lot of people, maybe they're not familiar with kind of the autonomic nervous system. That's the rest digest system, right, Hillary?
Yes, the autonomic has two different modes. So,
Okay.
one mode, parasympathetic mode, you could think of it like a gear in a car. First gear, maybe, or neutral or park, would be like this parasympathetic mode, which is exactly rest and digest. It's where the body heals itself, the innate healing mode, and where all of the natural body functions can turn on, like being able to assimilate and receive the nutrients from the food, because the body, the energy is not in this state of fight or flight. And then the counter mode, which if you were driving a manual car might be like fifth or sixth gear, is
Hmm.
the sympathetic mode. And this is the mode where we're on defense, where we don't feel that we can fully trust. In that mode, again, we're in one of these programs where we're either fighting against life or someone, or feeling frozen, or feeling like we have to people please to be safe. And being caught in those modes for too long, not only is it incredibly depleting, but all of the energy is ready for the reaction, is ready to run, is ready to fight. And in that, the body's taking away the energy from our ability to digest and all of those natural functions.
Yeah, it sounds almost like, you're kind of like leaking life force. And
Exactly.
that's never a good thing, especially with so much change and turmoil going on right now. Even if you're not seeing it in the physical world, there's so much geomagnetic and sun flare activity, which I do want to get into what you're seeing for 2026. How is this aura repair work different maybe than traditional energy healing? We talk a lot about clearing and releasing, but I don't know if we've ever talked much about aura repair. Maybe once or twice a few years ago, but not that often.
How it's different is, well, one, I'm sending this light to everyone throughout the whole call. I have my hands on some really large crystals
Oh,
too that
oh
I'm
wow.
sending the energy through the crystals. But how it's different is we're working with holographic fields of light. So the Arcturian crystal chamber technology is holographic light technology. When you connect with this frequency, it's like being placed in a photon field of crystalline liquid living light. And these holographic fields, so frequency fields, energy fields, they scan for any disharmonic frequencies or distortion in the energy field and the body, and they project these crystalline living light frequency, which is harmonic frequency, crystal frequency. And this can help reset the cellular memory. This helps open us to the higher dimensional realities. This renews the nervous system. So I received this whole process from the Arcturians on how we can receive these frequency fields of photon crystalline light, and then the specific frequencies, particularly the photon light, which has the ability to repair the holes in the aura and to really fortify the aura, because the photon light, it harmonizes all that it touches. It really clears density, it repairs distortions, and it brings in that higher dimensional light. And it may sound like kind of advanced terminology, but really it's such pure frequency living light that restores, repairs, and harmonizes. And it's a gift from these benevolent, higher dimensional beings who really want to support us right now with all that we're going through.
This sounds very much like I almost want to say like intelligent, like it knows where to go. It knows, kind of where to activate and open up. So I'm very curious about that and maybe some of the higher strand DNA connections. Do you see some of that activation also happening?
Yes. This is some of the information that was really shared with me this morning as I was preparing the
Oh,
energy
wow.
and working with the Arcturian. So we are so on point that the photonic light, this photon light, is a pure intelligent light frequency, divine consciousness from source. So these fields of crystalline living light and photonic light, they are intelligent and they know how to read. So they energetically scan and they can read what is out of imbalance. And then they're working with geometry, with harmonic energy and that higher dimensional energy where it restructures the energy field. And then the nervous system gets the signal that you are safe, that your field is balanced, is purified, protected, harmonic. And then the body can really, instead of being on guard of like, what's going to happen or
Yeah.
what's coming at me or what's the next thing, the body can then bring that life force within instead of leaking it out, just as you had said, Darius, or when that life force can go within, we're able to self heal. And these are Arcturian healing chambers, and they activate the divine blueprints, they activate the DNA, they activate our connection to the higher dimensional realities.
It's so exciting. It's a new generation of soul healing that is just coming online. And I think this is one very promising way for us to really shift our lives. And I'm not the only one. I got to share a story from Brooke, who wrote in and said, I've not felt like myself. She wrote into your offices. I've not felt like myself for so long. I was always blocked, stressed, pressured. After the program with Hillary, I feel more energy and joy than I have in years. I actually feel relaxed. This is priceless. This program is priceless. Megan, I'm sure you remember Megan T. I spent years trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Naturopaths, medical tests, trauma healing, nothing helped. The Arcturian Aura program was the missing piece. I finally feel grounded and clear and safe in my body again. And I suspect probably Hillary, her body started to actually reflect that and get back into balance.
Exactly, because
Wow.
these frequencies then enter the physical body as well. And not only are they intelligent, they're incredibly custom calibrated for specifically what someone needs. The amount of stories and shares that I've received of people having improvement in their marriage because they're not flying off the handle in fight or flight all of the time, having improvement in the digestion, having the ability to people who say I couldn't see energy, I couldn't feel energy, I could never see my guides, and then opening up that higher connection because we're really anchoring higher dimensional realities. And that's another big message that was coming through from the Arcturians this morning was when we're caught in the constructs of one dimension, like kind of narrowed into that third dimension. That's not the divine intention. We're meant to be multidimensional beings. And when we access those higher dimensions, starting with the fifth dimension of unity consciousness, this field of love, that is where all the joy in life is. And this is why the Arcturians are so joyful. They are the most benevolent, ancient, the highest dimensional, ninth to 12th dimensional star beings in our galaxy. And when we start accessing that fifth dimensional frequency field and beyond, it is such an experience of joy. And it makes me so happy when I receive so many of these messages and emails of people returning to their joy and just feeling like who they truly are again. Because there is so much that has happened in these last 5 years alone, let alone through our whole lifetime, that every energy field has been impacted by the collective
Mm.
consciousness, by the frequencies, the 5G, it goes on and on.
Yeah, everyone, just a little cliff notes. 5G is not 5D, okay? It's the antithesis. We don't want that. It's interesting. Christine Sorensen said, I need that. A lot of people just kind of feeling you talk, hearing you talk about this. It's like, yeah, that's the frequencies of where I come from. That's the home frequency, or that's the frequency that I want to evolve into. And just to be honest, like, that's where all the real creation is. Like, if you're trying to just create something for your life, and you're only in 3D and you can't get out of this tap that's on humanity's consciousness, chances are it's not going to really transform. You're just going to kind of move pieces around the chessboard, but you're not actually going to jump onto a whole other reality. So there's a lot of pieces here. What I'd like to do, I'd like to find out some more of the things you've seen. I'd like to get into some of the different aura layers, and then I want to jump to some callers. So everyone, go ahead, raise your hand. We're going to grab some callers. But Hillary, I wanted to go through those auric layers. It was so fascinating. I don't know if you have them on hand or you
Of
memorize
course.
them. Tell me about the 1 through 8, I think it is, and I'm going to be taking notes. And I hope, and if someone could transcribe them for me into the chat as Hillary's saying that, you would keep me focused on this amazing information. But go ahead, Hillary. What are the auric layers that we have?
So there are 7 layers, and the first layer is called the etheric layer. So this layer again represents our vitality. This is our health blueprint. By strengthening this layer, you can strengthen the physical health. And if someone is very robust and vital and physically healthy, this layer will be naturally very strong. But it's sort of a symbiotic relationship. That's the layer that is closest to the body, the etheric layer. It can often be red, it's associated with the root chakra. The second layer is the emotional layer, which can sometimes be orange. It's associated with the sacral chakra. So, this represents our emotions. I've had this happen many times, but I remember a beautiful soul named Samantha, and she was holding so much grief in her emotional layer from the passing of her father that it really blocked her in many, many aspects of her life. And it just weighed her down so deeply, and it had been many years, so she had some time to process it. And when she received this clearing, she finally could feel like she could feel her own emotions again and the full spectrum of emotions. So it goes from the physical layer to the emotional layer, and then the third layer from the physical body connected to the solar plexus is the mental layer. And all three of these layers, it's like Darius said, as without, so within, as within, so without, that if you have a strong mental layer, that protects the mental body. And this is, connected to the fourth dimension of thought consciousness, of all thoughts ever thought, and our ability to pick up on the thoughts in that spectrum, where some of these thoughts are very beneficial, loving, incredible thoughts. Other thoughts can be incredibly unsupportive and destructive. So, a strong mental layer really protects our mental body so we can be in the choice. And the Arcturians always talk to me about that, the
Mm.
empowerment of the choice. The fourth layer is the astral layer connected to the heart. This is where we bridge the higher and lower layers through that frequency of love. And the astral body is that it's like an outline of the physical body and a layer of the aura where we can sort of travel to other star civilizations and planets. And then we go into the very spiritual layers of the aura, the etheric template layers connected to the throat. And this is the divine blueprint. So instead of the physical representation, like the first layer, it's really the divine blueprint of our physical body, authentic expression. The sixth layer is the celestial layer, and this is the layer that connects us to higher consciousness, the higher dimensions, intuition, feeling that connection and communion with source, with our guides. And then the seventh layer is often called the catheric template layer. In some
Uh-huh.
lineages, it's called the causal body, and this is connected to the crown. So, this is really soul purpose, divine connection. And that's what's so incredible about these layers is that it goes from every aspect of our human
Yeah.
experience, from our physical body, our emotions, our thoughts, all the way up to that direct connection with source, with our oversoul.
Wow. That is incredible. Because it feels like it encompasses, I mean, it seems very clear, it encompasses like all these levels and layers of our being, all these aspects of who we are, right? From our mental body to our emotional layer to our mental layers, but then also this sort of like bigger soul purpose layer that a lot of people are still trying to find. That's also part of our auric field layering system.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
From with the throat, our ability to communicate, the sixth layer connected to the third eye, our intuition, the seventh layer, direct connection to source. And these outer layers, particularly the seventh layer, hold the light for all of the inner layers as its source light that we want penetrating through all of these layers and into the cells of our being.
If someone is, let's say, trying to work on a thing in the body or that they think is in the body, but it's actually in one of these layers, like what would happen?
What I've been shown the Arcturians do is they work with this photon light, and I have an example here like of a Vogel wand, but they work with these really massive etheric Stargate wands where oftentimes if you're having an issue physically, there are issues within that first layer. If you're having an issue emotionally, it's held within the second layer, mentally within the third layer. So it can be both. When we're in this energy of getting close to end 2025, right? And 2 plus 0
Yes.
plus 2 plus 5 is a 9. And 9 in numerology is completion. Like we're dealing with a lot of karmic endings, and that's why
Okay.
the Arcturians had shared this is so important as we move into 2026 because we can be carrying these things both physically and energetically. And this gives us the opportunity to sort of release the rocks out of the backpack of the rocks in the energy
Mm,
field or the damage in the energy field from, maybe arguments that you've had with people from dense collective energies, but also releasing that cellular debris physically and in the
mm.
field.
Yeah, so this is a 2 plus 2, 4, 9, and 9 is a completion year cycle.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Uh,
It's nine represents like when we're coming into a completion, coming to an ending. So a wrapping up
wow.
of karmic contracts and wrapping up of not only this year, but when it's a 9 year, this is coming into completion with everything you've experienced over the past 9 years. And I feel like it was around
Oh.
9 years ago that things started to kind of amp up and get more intense. Even more so, of course, in 2020 and 2021. But even before that, I remember 2017 being really
Mm-hmm.
intense.
Mm-hmm.
And so a completion of a 9 year cycle.
Wow. So next year, or whenever y'all hear this, 2026, this year, if we're at that time, is going to be a 10 year, if my math is correct. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 would be 10. So then what is a 10 year about? Do you know?
In numerology, if there's a zero at the end, then it goes to the first number. So it is a 10 where those numbers add up to 10, 2 plus 2 plus 6. But
Right.
then that 10 represents a one in numerology. And that one in numerology represents a new beginning, a fresh start, a
Ah,
restart of a new 9 year cycle. So that's why this is such an important
yeah.
time to really consciously choose to lay down some of the energies that you may have picked up on in this past 9 year cycle so that you can start a new 9 year cycle, knowing that more of this higher dimensional consciousness is becoming available to us, but it's our choice. And the collective intensity will continue with the solar flares, with the intensity on the planet, and being able to access all the information of what's happening everywhere. That is going to continue.
Yeah, I do feel that. I do. This is so amazing. So if you miss and we're now in the, 10 year, that's okay. Like do the clearing work, get the clearing because that 10 year is going to have huge opportunities. 2026 is going to be a big opportunity year. So whether it's the first month or second month or whenever, third month, do it because you're going to get a lot of new beginnings coming up. And so you don't want to carry this stuff in. So what I want to do, Hillary, maybe we can take some callers and just kind of see where folks are at. We'll plug into some of their questions. Maybe we'll look at some auras, open the hood of the car, see what's going on with those auric fields. And if you want some time with Hillary, or you want some support, or you want someone to give you some help, or you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand, and we are going to dive in today. I think it's going to be so exciting. So we've got a bunch of folks. So I'm going to go with Catalina. Catalina's written into us a couple times. I think I read a few of her questions. So Catalina, what's going on? You're live with Hillary. I'm just sending you an unmute request. You're certainly welcome to turn on your camera if you want. Uh, Catalina, what's going on?
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh my God. I'm so surprised. So thank you. Um, there's a lot of, by the way, I love Hillary. I had the fortune to do like a guided meditation with her last
Oh,
month, and it was beautiful and it helped me so much. So I'm really lucky to be here and then to also get my question answered. I'm here because I have been doing a lot of the clearing. I feel that I have been doing a lot of the work, but I'm actually having like a lot of health challenges for the past 2 years. Even right now, I'm just getting out of like really health challenges, and every time I go to the doctor, it's supposed to be something with my heart, but then again, they never find anything wrong with my heart. And it's just this, I feel like I'm in this like hamster wheel where I'm doing, or again, I think I'm doing like the clearing sessions and everything, but still like I'm not able to break out from this cycle of getting sick.
I'm so
If
sorry
that
to
makes
hear that,
sense.
Catalina, and thank you so much for sharing. You are doing amazing clearing work. You can hear the joy in your voice, and I can see the joy in your energy field. And we're going to call the light infusion into the first layer, which represents the physical body, and everyone is able to receive this. So we're working with the photonic light, we're working with the Arcturian blue diamond light. But the layer they're saying is most impacted is actually the third layer and the mental body layer, that some thought forms and belief systems around illness and not being able to get well, and they're saying they're not your thought forms, but you picked up on them from the collective consciousness. Sometimes something can happen with the physical health, and then we're connected sort of energetically to all of these other people who may be having physical health issues as well, and the thought forms that they're having around not being able to heal. So the Arcturians are bringing in this photon light for you now. And they're showing these sort of jumbles of brown and gray kind of yarn and different energies within that third layer. And with the third layer, I I like to work with the rose frequency too, because it's a master clearing frequency. So we're going to place, and everyone's welcome to receive this. We're going to place 100 yellow ray roses within this third layer. And then the Arcturians are connecting with us in their holographic light bodies. And they're working with their Stargate wands as I am now too. And they're just gently releasing out these balls of yarn, these thought forms from the third layer, the mental layer. And you can count 3 more deep breaths as this clearing will continue to activate. But they're inviting you to choose well-being, to choose to fully align with well-being. Well-being is your choice. Your heart is filled with joy, and you are healing beautifully. How are you feeling, Catalina?
I started feeling really calm, which is really nice.
Mm. Had you not been feeling very calm recently?
You know what? I haven't for the past, I mean, I started feeling really sick almost a month ago,
Wow.
um, because I started having like a lot of heart palpitations. My blood started going down. My fingers started turning purple, and I got really scared. Um, and like I said, I went to the doctor, I went to the emergency room. They're never able to find anything wrong. They always tell me you're really healthy. um, but it's really hard because to hear that you're really healthy, like every
Yeah.
test, everything, it's right. But then I'm here just not feeling like good.
Hmm.
Um, and I have been working also with a wonderful homeopathic, and he has really been helping me. And it's really interesting because one of the things that he had told me was that he perceives that what it's really actually making me feel the way in my heart, like the palpitations and all the symptoms that I get, it's actually coming from my mind. And so it was really interesting to hear Hillary right now of how she was able to perceive that too. Um, but again, I'm always open because I know there's only so much that I can do on myself, like the clearing, like meditation. So that's why I'm always open to see what others, especially such as gifted people that you have, Darius, in your sessions. So I was really lucky um, to have this opportunity to be checked by Hillary. So thank you to both of you, and thank you for everything that both of you do.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you.
And we're so glad you're feeling more calm and peace. And, we're not doctors, we're not diagnosing, but if I was just thinking about it, it definitely sounds kind of like this anxiety spike and this sort of nervous system just going haywire, right? And it's hard to find a source to that because sometimes those things definitely are, like she said, coming from the mind. So, yeah, this is a prime kind of thing that a lot of us are going through. And doctors like, what's going on? Nobody knows. My mom went through that too. And they couldn't figure anything out other than it was just a lot of stress and unresolved energy. So hats off to you, Catalina. We're going to go to Erica P. Erica P, if you want to unmute, well, we're going to unmute you, but if you want to start your video, that'd be great, Erica. We can definitely do it either way. There you are. How can we help you today? What's going on? Oh, we got a
Hi,
video
hi
person.
Darius. Hi. Hi Darius.
We
Hi.
got at least a
Yeah, let me take off
background
my camera.
video.
Wow.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's more fun for video, though. Hi,
Understandably.
Erica. Looking
How are you
good.
guys?
What's going on? Yeah.
Well, I've been struggling with my health for since 2011, and it's frustrating going to the doctors and not having answers, and I just keep getting more and more issues, health issues. I'm more focused now, I guess, from the 2015 issues of gallstones, gallbladder polyp, and liver cysts that um, I started to get. And then in 2017, I think I had hormonal issues because I started gaining
Mm.
weight and perimenopause. And now I have ovarian cysts and chocolate ovaries and all these. It's just getting, it's accumulating, and nothing is, no answers, no natural source problem answers. I'd like to find the source of these issues.
Yeah, that
I'm
absolutely sounds like the wisest thing to do.
I'm sending you so much compassion, Erica. And let's go in. One of the things that the Arcturians are already activating now for all of us, for you, Erica, and for everyone listening, activating these holographic light technology fields of the crystal chamber. And these fields help scan for any disharmonic frequencies. And I'll lovingly look through the layers of the aura as well. The layer that's coming up the most prevalent for you, Erica, specifically, is the second layer, the emotional layer. And some of what you're describing, what they're showing with gallstones and then the cysts and things like that, they're representing an accumulation of unprocessed and unreleased emotional debris. So I invite you to receive a breath, and as you breathe in, and as all of us receive a breath in, breathe in this blue diamond Arcturian light. It's this light blue that's almost electric, like a glacier, one of the most beautiful blues. And as you breathe in the Arcturian blue diamond light, the blue diamond light and the photonic light is entering into these, what I'm being shown as boulders in the second layer of the energy field. Unprocessed emotions and emotions you've picked up on from others, and collective grief. And then that blue diamond light and the photonic light is entering directly into the source physically, into the glands of the endocrine system. And these boulders are lifting out of the second layer of the energy field now. Receive a really deep breath. I want you to breathe in deeply and then hold the breath in, Erica. And with your eyes closed, and you can powerfully exhale through the mouth. And as you do, these emotional boulders are being dissolved and cleared in the energy field. One more time, and we can all do this. Receive a very, very deep breath in. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Breathe in even more. Hold the breath in. And let's ask that all that we're holding, all the emotions of others in this second layer, be released with this crystalline light and harmonize with the cannonball exhale. So exhaling through the mouth. And then you can receive another breath. And they're showing a process for you, Erica, where when something comes up, just an additional small tool that may help when something comes up, to find an object like a rock where you can breathe in and then blow the emotion out into the rock, and then you can throw the rock outside.
Mm.
And that will be really, really important. But how are you feeling?
Mm. Emotional. That was really cool, though. I like that idea. That's a great idea.
That's the message that's coming through, is processing the emotions, holding them in deep love and compassion, not holding emotions that don't belong to you because they're sort of hardening within the physical body in certain ways and within the energy field. But you can make the choice that you're not doing that anymore, that you're allowing the emotions to move through, to be. Emotions are energy in motion. So when they get stuck, they can harden in these ways, like gallstones or cysts, polyps, different things like that.
Well, thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
Thank
Thank
you, Erica. We're sending you a big love here today. And yeah, it sounds so absolutely like accurate as to what she's bringing forward with those things hardening. Because if there was yeah, it's mind blowing. I mean, it makes so much sense. What I love for everyone here, Erica, as well, is that exercise that we can all use, because how many of us are trying to unwrap and process emotions, and maybe they're not even yours. Maybe the real path is it's just time to let them go, right? Nobody's right, nobody's wrong, or maybe it's this and this. It's like, just let it go. So yeah, find a big lake and hurl it all the way to the bottom. That's what I think. Sending you love, Erica. I want to go to another caller. I'm going to go to Susie. I can see Susie really bright, shining here. So Susie, I'm going to send you a mute request. Hopefully your hand's raised. Oh no, yes it is. Okay, good. Quick draw McGraw here. I'm
Thank
just
you.
grabbing folks left and right. What's going on, Susie?
Oh, yeah, thanks so much to you both and all. Really lovely. I'm checking in, asking. I'm sort of extremely empathic, so I do pick up. I feel like I'm picking up some sort of energy drain somewhere from a person. I have experienced psychic attack before, and that feels like it's still going on for a long, long time, and I can't seem to break the cycle of it. And also my hormones are pretty out of whack. My progesterone, estrogen, and pineal glands are showing up as imbalances, plus my digestion, blah de blah. So I'd love some clearing or some awarenesses or whatever you've got, Hilaria. Just be lovely. Thank you so much.
I'm sending so much love to you, Susie. And the Arcturians are showing now how sometimes if there's a gland, like for example, like the pineal and pituitary, which can be more connected with the third eye, that can be the sign that the issue is in the 6 layers. So they first showed me to work on the 6th layer primarily, that there was a hole in the 6th layer that had impacted the 7th layer as well, and it's in the back. And that is what's causing the energy drain and affecting the imbalances, and like the pituitary being the master gland, which is kind of signaling so many of the other glands on the hormones that they're meant to produce. So I invite you to receive a deep breath, close your eyes. The Arcturians and I will simultaneously work directly with the pituitary. And we can all breathe in this stream of Arcturian blue diamond light, of this living, intelligent, photonic light. And now I'm asking, and we're working with that photonic plasma light, the holographic fields of the crystal chamber consciousness, to seal. So what's interesting, they're showing me there was nothing specifically to clear, but the hole is still there in the 6th and 7th layer, and that's why it's an energy leak. So all we have to do is actually repair that hole. So simply breathing in the photonic light, that electric Arcturian blue diamond light, 3 more breaths. They're showing the photonic light literally um, merging the energy field back into oneness, almost like a beautiful tapestry that's being brought back together in complete wholeness with no line or sewing mark in between, but that energetic frequency solidifying and moving into wholeness. The sixth layer is done. One more breath as we complete this seventh layer and bring extra that source light protection around the seventh layer. Very well done, Susie. And if you feel called to receive it, these 7 transmissions for each one of the layers will be so beneficial. But there's a 7th audio transmission too in the package that's called the 7 layers of energetic protection. And I use it multiple times a week, and the guides are saying how beneficial it will be for you.
Oh gosh, that's great. I certainly appreciate, because I find myself having to clear myself constantly, even if I go out to the supermarket. It's like it's like an ordeal. Every day is a day of clearing, you know. It's like I'd love it to hold the protection up in a more expensive way, so that would be great to hear and do those things. And I love the idea of photonic light. Is there a quotient frequency of photonic light that we all need to have to sustain ourselves, or is it just it's just a generalized photonic cleanse?
The more we have, I feel like the more vital and alive we are, because they are like this, like individual units of kind of source consciousness energy. And that the Arcturians are saying what we just did really increased that photonic light quotient, because I was being shown that the Arcturians send these direct photon streams often through the blue diamond light to restore coherence. And this light is an information carrier. It is a bridge into the higher dimensional consciousness. But that photonic living light, it it clears density and it repairs distortions. It kind of brings things back into wholeness with that higher dimensional light. So I love that. The guides are saying we want to be at like 60% or more of that quotient to be feeling
Okay,
really vital.
okay, that's
And
great.
and where do we get this photonic light? Susie, I'm so glad. I had this question. I'm like, well, where do we get the photonic light? I'm like, can I buy a light bulb at the store? Probably not. That would be blue light, which now, obviously we don't want too much of the blue light. It's not the light we want. How do we get the photonic light, Hillary?
When we ask from our hearts to connect to the Arcturian healing chambers and the crystal chambers, these chambers are holographic fields, so they're living light fields of harmonic crystalline liquid light and photonic light.
Okay.
And that would that relate to our mitochondria light quotient as well? Would that sort of, is that activating that as well?
It definitely activates it.
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
There's a
Okay.
Really good.
machine I
Really
did
good.
try once with the photonic light, and I had quite an experience with that.
What did you do? What
There's a
happened?
machine, it's very expensive. I heard it was developed by the CIA, but it's a biophoton. And I went to an
Oh,
advanced energy an advanced frequency spiritual center. And I was actually teaching at a huge conference. I was teaching more hours than any other faculty have. And I did get, this was years back, but I got so drained at one point. And I went to use the biophoton, and I had seen myself in the mirror because I went to the bathroom before I used it. I heard that they would hook hook CIA assets up to it who were like in trouble in the field and stuff, that it would give them the life force that they needed to get out of whatever situation they were in. I went to the bathroom after being connected to the machine. My entire face was lit up like a Christmas tree. I looked like a different person in 15 minutes, and that really showed me how powerful the photonic light is. But we don't have to buy like a $10,000 machine, or I don't know how much that is. We can ask, and the Arcturians make it available for us consistently.
Oh,
Wonderful.
wonderful.
And all
That's
we have to do
fabulous.
is breathe it in. They'll send it in the air that we breathe, and we can breathe in that blue diamond light and that photonic light.
So we need the two to go to be activated properly, or just could we just call in the
Just
photonic?
one, the
Just
photonic light
one?
comes through the blue diamond
Anyway,
light, or you can call in both.
okay. And the blue
Amazing.
diamond is is that's the ray that the Arcturians come under, or is because I'm noticing you calling that forward a lot, and I was thinking, oh, is that the ray they come under?
They're normally blue beings, the Arcturians. They
Okay,
connect
yeah.
with us in their holographic light bodies, but they're blue and they work with the blue ray of empowerment. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, God bless them, and God bless you, and God bless us all. Thank you, Darius.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Susie. Then in love. Great questions, by the way. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I love this. Yeah, there's a device too that I hear a lot about called the Rasha machine. It's like $85,000. And what it's actually purported to do, I don't know if it does, is it actually is a zero-point device that activates your 12-strand DNA. Most people, they say only have 2 to 3 strands activated, and yet we were designed to have 12 strands. It's not junk DNA, so but that machine's like $85,000. So honestly, if we can have the Arcturians do it through Hillary for what, a couple $100, or start the process and then show us, hey, I think that's a deal. we're gonna experience we're gonna experience a little mini bit of that. So just imagine what some of these things could cost. So Hillary, what I want to do is kind of activate some folks today with something you've been downloading for the last few days. So what are we gonna do? And then if y'all are in a place to do it, we will jump in here.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. This is a crystalline Arcturian light infusion to harmonize the energy field and restore the nervous system. They were highlighting how helpful this will be for the winter solstice, for the holidays, but especially as we're stepping into the new year in the first many months, January, February, March, April, how beneficial this will be. And
Wow.
we are going to be working with, which was a message I received too when we were working with the heart issues and the heart palpitation, that a lot of that I'm shown is caused by sort of dysfunction or misfiring within the vagus nerve bundles, like these branches of a tree or these sheaths that are all around the heart and lungs. So we'll work with the energy field and that. Are you ready to go into it, Darius?
We're almost ready, but one thing for anyone listening on Facebook, Instagram, X, we want to make sure we've got the disclaimers in full effect. So we're going to shut the live stream for those folks. Anyone on Zoom is totally going to be part of this, so you're good. But if you're on social and you want to get the activation, click the link in the description just below the video, and we'll see you on the full session and the replay, because that's where everything will be. You can just jump right in. So, Hillary, let's do it.